Lighted saddlebag hinge covers from Zero. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Raider World. So in this video, we have Zero 3D's LED lighted saddlebag hinge covers. For 14 and up Harley-Davidson Touring models equipped with hard saddlebags, these Zero lighted hinge covers replace your existing covers and reflectors and add some much needed side lighting to your ride. Made of aluminum with either light smoked or red polycarbonate lenses and designed with OEM plug-and ride connectors, makes these lighted hinge covers a breeze to install and quickly connect and disconnect when removing your saddlebags. Available in gloss black or brilliant chrome, these lighted hinge covers feature red run, brake, and turn modes. So if you're looking to add some style to your saddlebags while also increasing your side visibility on the road, then these lights from Zero just might do the trick. Let's get these unboxed and installed on the bike. Alright guys, so in the box, you get your left and your right lighted hinge covers, 4 grommets, some cable tie mounts, 2 connectors, some cable ties, your plug and ride harness, and with Zero 3D, you always get some great instructions. So Zero does provide you some new hardware to mount your lighted hinge covers, but I'll be reusing the stock hardware. Alright guys, so for tools, I use a drill, a deburring tool, some dielectric grease, some blue Loctite, cable tie cutters, a small tool just to push in those pins on the connectors, a ratchet, a T15, a T20, a picking tool, a 1/8 drill bit just to drill that pilot hole, and you can use a 9/16 drill bit or a step drill bit. So first thing you want to do is just remove anything you have inside your saddlebags to include any liners. So before I remove the lid strap, I'm going to place a piece of cardboard with some painter's tape to hold it on just behind this hinge cover. That way when I remove the lid strap, this hinge cover doesn't scratch the paint. So to remove this lid strap, I'm using a ratchet with a T15, and you only need to take out these 2 screws. So if you have a lid speaker, I would go ahead and just unplug these just to get them out of the way. Now from here, I can remove the hinge cover. I'll take out these 3 screws, and I'm using a T20. And when you're removing these screws, just hold on to your hinge cover so it doesn't fall on you. Now I'll install the new Zero lighted hinge cover. I'm reusing the stock screws, and I'm also using blue Loctite. So I'll tighten these down nice and snug, and then I'll torque them down from 40 to 45 inch-pounds. So per the instructions, this is where you want to drill. Just make sure when you're drilling through your saddlebag that you're not hitting your lid strap. So now I'm going to prep the area for drilling. I'll use some painter's tape. I'll start off by drilling a small pilot hole and then bump it up to a 9/16 drill bit. If you don't have a 9/16 drill bit, you could also use a step drill bit. Now to clean this hole up, I'm just using a deburring tool. Now I'll install the grommet that Zero provided. So here I'm just using a picking tool to get the grommet through. So now I'm going to run the wire through the grommet. Just make sure when you're running the wire through that you don't damage these pins. Now that I have the wire ran through, I'll reinstall the lid strap. And once again, I'm reusing the stock screws and I'm using a T15. Now before I remove the saddlebags, I'm gonna repeat the same process on the other side. Now I'll remove one saddlebag at a time and drill the other side. Just make sure you have something to put your saddlebag on to protect the paint. Alright guys, so on Cyril's instructions, they want you to measure down 2 inches from your saddlebag safety bolt hole. I already have another hole here for my lid speakers, so I'll go just above that and drill my pilot hole here. Now that I have my pilot hole, I'll switch over to my 9/16 drill bit. And once again, I'm using a deburring tool to clean up my hole. Now that I have my hole drilled out, I'll insert my grommet. So while I have my saddlebag on the table, I'll go ahead and run my wire through. Just make sure you're protecting your pins. Now from here, I'll reinstall my saddlebag and do the same thing on the other side. Just make sure you're keeping track of your pins so they don't get damaged. Now that I have the saddlebags put back on, I'll remove the seat and connect the wires. Alright guys, so I do have a lot of Cyril 3D products in here, so just ignore some of these wires and some of these harnesses. I'll show you exactly where to plug this in if you have some of these products or not. So really simple, this black harness controls your rear and this gray harness controls your front. So if you have no aftermarket products in here, you'll just unplug your black harness here and then you'll plug in your plug and ride harness from Cyril 3D. This just acts as a splitter, and then from here, you have these 2 leads that go to your left and your right saddlebag hinge lights. So first, you'll unplug your harness from here. You'll take your Cyril 3D plug and ride harness. These only go in one way. You'll hear that click. That lets you know you're connected. And then for your 2 leads, you have a brown wire that's going to go towards your right side, and then you have a violet wire that's going to go towards your left side. Because I have a lot of Cyril 3D products in here, I can kind of pick and choose where I want to split this off from. I do have the Cyril 3D streak trunk light that has a light strike technology, so I do want to plug it in after that. And if you have a brake store module, it's up to you whether you want to plug it in before or after that. Now Cyril does offer the rear end lighting 4-way splitters. This eliminates the need for multiple wiring harnesses and allows a single wiring adapter on the motorcycle to be used for up to 4 different products. So that 4-way splitter is probably the route I'm gonna take so I can eliminate a lot of these harnesses. So here you have your plug-in ride harness from Zero 3D. This just acts as a splitter. And then you have your 2 leads. Your brown wire is gonna go towards your right side and your violet wire is gonna go towards your left side. Now the wiring for both lighted hinge covers are exactly the same. You have a red wire, a black wire, a blue wire, and a yellow wire. Now the yellow wire is either gonna go to your brown wire or your violet wire. So if you look inside this connector, you can see the retention clips on the bottom. That's where the bottom of this wiring pin is gonna sit. So what I'll do first is insert this connector into this connector so we can get the wires to line up. So we have our black wire, our brown wire, our blue wire, and then our red wire. So I'll insert the black wire. Here I'm just using a small tool to push them in all the way. And you just want to give it a slight tug to make sure it's secure. Next, I have the brown wire, so I'll connect the yellow wire. And now I'll connect the blue wire. And now I'll connect the red wire. So your violet wire controls your left side and we'll connect it the same way. So Zero does have it in their instructions to route the wiring along the back, but for my application, I'm gonna follow my speaker wiring and utilize the same cable strap mounts. So I won't tighten these cable straps down all the way. I'll see how much wiring I need to reach the harness and I'll adjust from there. So you want to give yourself enough slack on this wire so when you close your saddlebag, it doesn't pinch and it also doesn't pull. So I have plenty of wiring to reach the harness, so I'll pull some of this back inside the saddlebag and strap it down. So before you install any cable tie mounts, you just want to make sure you have a clean surface. You just want to scratch the back to activate that 3M tape. So I am going to place one cable strap mount to the back side of the saddlebag so I can safely secure this wire. Now that I have this wiring secured, it's the same thing on the other side. Now remember that the brown wire is the right side and the violet wire is the left side. And with these connectors, you just want to make sure you add a little dielectric grease. So now that I have the wiring harness plugged in and I have the leads plugged in, I'll run a test. Now that I ran a test and everything works, I'm gonna clean my wires up, button it up, and we'll take it on a ride.